What is going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Polestar. I want to give you a good overview of what has been happening with Polestar, what the data points are saying, and potentially, especially with their earnings right around the corner, where things might be going. So I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down 1.2% and it's not doing too bad in comparison to the whole EV sector. A lot of the EV sector, with the exception of Mullen, is going down. On the technicals though, it did bounce off of that very big support, so that central boiling band, so definitely a pretty positive sign in that regard. But going into tomorrow, there's a lot of big data coming out, and also the Feds are going to be making their interest rate decision. That's over and above people speculating potentially on the upcoming earnings for Polestar that is coming out on the 11th. So there is a lot of different things all coming together as one. As of right now though, there isn't any official PR or any SEC filings. So as I said, it is just following the broader market right now. This did come out though, not official news of course, but Polestar is bringing the 𝗪𝗡 plant back to life. So it is looking like they're kind of expanding their powertrain, electric motors, and batteries. So kind of upgrading that for the Polestar 5 and 6. So definitely I think that is a very good sign, because you do see a lot of automakers dumping a ton of money in upgrading their technology. Because I think a lot of people do know that 2025 and onwards, there is going to be a huge and immense amount of competition in this EV sector. And all of which are going to be saying the exact same thing, that they have the best battery, that they have the best technology. So you definitely have to up your game. And I do feel right now that Polestar is doing everything right as of right now. And it is just a matter of time before institutions start to realize that and increase their position. So as you can see, this has gone up roughly about 1 in the last quarter. So not significant, but there is currently 6 ETFs that do hold Polestar. And that might be something to continue to watch for, as you also see based on the latest round of 13Fs, a lot more institutions kind of increasing their position. And what I mean by that is not the wall of red, because that is for the most part a lot of institutions getting out. But I want to draw your attention to the ones that are still in it. More specifically, Cutler Group. So when it comes down to Cutler, I think they're a very good indication of what is good and what is bad in the economy right now. Because for instance, anything that they've been increasing with their call options is typically seen as fairly safe and good for the long term, versus if they have been increasing their puts, then yeah, generally it's not necessarily that well performing and so forth. But when it comes to Polestar, they increased their calls by 31% and reduced their puts by 41%. So generally still a fairly good indication that Polestar can easily go up. And they also increased their position of their physical common stock by 8%. But still, I believe later this week or early next week, this is where a lot of the big names, so BlackRock, Vanguard, are going to be disclosing their positions. So in general, I think that might be a fairly good catalyst. But over and above that though, just to give you guys a quick overview of the data points and so forth, you do see a lot more call options being purchased. And my last update was a little bit more oriented towards kind of puts. So it is a nice change of events. So currently $57.93 thousand worth of call option premium today versus $6.49 thousand in puts. So of course, very much oriented towards calls. So definitely something to consider, but keep in mind, options activity does not move the stock price. It is just a little bit more of a sentiment. But also on a side note, I am not a financial advisor, so you guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. All I'm doing is providing the details and my own interpretation to you guys. You guys make your own due diligence at the end. When it comes down to big money getting in, there wasn't any transactions today, but there was a couple yesterday and the day before. So 114,000 and 120,000. And based on the bid and the ask, it was kind of evenly divided. So this one was a sell, this one was a buy. But as of right now, it does show that there's just a lack of buying that's been happening today coming from institutions. And I do strongly feel it's just a lot of institutions are waiting until tomorrow to find out exactly what the Feds are going to be doing, because that has a huge ripple across the states and across the world as well. When it comes down to, for instance, the other additional data points I like to point out, number of retail investors are flat today. Stochastic is a little bit more neutral at 51, and you do have a underlying bullish sentiment behind the scenes. So definitely a pretty good thing in that regard. But like I mentioned, right now, there is no news, nothing like that. A lot of people are just speculating and kind of waiting for things to play out either in their favor or not. But Like I said as well, the earnings are coming around the corner on May the 11th, so definitely something to consider. And I am going to be live streaming that as well. And it is a little bit more of an early call, so just be aware of that. Wake up bright and early with your coffee and all that fun jazz. But as of right now, based on the technicals, the fact that it did bounce off of that central boiling band is a fairly positive sign. Some support and resistance points to really watch for going forward is right now, so $7 or $3.70 what is currently trading at. So it is right below this pivot point, but most likely it will pull back into this pivot in the R1. My own interpretation, of course. So let me know you guys' thoughts on Polestar in the comments below. I still do strongly feel that Polestar is one of the few EVs that is going to succeed in the coming years and that won't have any difficulty as far as financing and so forth a lot of the other automakers are doing. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on that. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, what you've been doing, and where you see things going, at least in the short term. So let me know you guys' thoughts on that. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, there is a good promo with 𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗛, link in the description below and also the comments. So even though, for instance, Polestar is going down and sideways, whatever it's doing, take advantage of free promos such as this. So sign up for a free account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. And as you can see, if you just deposit $100, you get an additional 9 free stocks. So complete no-brainer, like I said. Link in the description below and also the comments. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Polestar.